call it to order the meeting of the Finance Committee. Thank everybody for your time and your patience. First order is number one is the May revenues versus expenditure report. Sir, Mr. Burns, would you like to take us, get us started?
Thank you, Counselor. Tonight I'll be presenting the May revenue versus expenditure report. Unfortunately, it happened again in May where we did not receive our state aid payment within the month. It actually came in on June 4th. So that's kind of skewing the numbers downward. The net payment that we received on the 4th was 37.4 million. So if you were to add that to the report, it would show much different result, and it would be very similar to the result of May of fiscal year 2023.
Any questions? Hearing none, may we move on to item number 2, which is a municipal community mitigation fund, no match required in the amount of $2,864,800. Who would like to speak on that one?
Good evening. I'm sorry. Good evening, councilors. Brian Connors from Economic Development. This is part of our annual application to the Gaming Commission through the Community Mitigation Fund. It funds a number of departments for items related to the casino, including police, fire, gaming harm through Health and Human Services, as well as community planning. This also comes with an infrastructure grant for $1.5 million, which is the second of 2 installments, the first coming last year, which is also in front of this body, for parking mitigation in the casino district. And that's it. I mean, this is the first year the Gaming Commission has been doing this in a block grant manner, so it's a little different than normal, where we just applied as a city rather than all the departments applying. So it's just a single application with all departments included.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Any questions? Seeing none. Item number 3, MGC Transportation Construction Grant, no match required, $1.5 million. Feel free to speak up.
Thank you, councilors. Councilor Edwards. This is, as I mentioned, this is the installment of the infrastructure grant through community mitigation. So this is $1.5 million and the second of 2 awards, the first coming last year for parking mitigation.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none. Item number 4, State 9/11 Support and Initiative Grant. I assume that'll be Commissioner Calvi?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome. Thank you. So it's for $1,117,816. This is our grant that reimburses the dispatcher salaries. There's no match included, and we always spend all of this award backfills for what we spend on dispatcher salaries.
Any questions? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Calvi. Item number 5. An order accepting Mass Gaming Commission grant contract amendment, $1.283,383,040, and to reimburse the police department. Lindsay, is this yours? Is this something you speak on?
Sure, we can speak to this. Someone from the police department should have been here, but I don't see that anyone's here. Let me just pull it up. Okay, so this is the grant for the mass gaming. The gaming enforcement unit, the police officers that are stationed down at MGM. The amount is, like you said, 1.2 million, and this is through the state, the Mass Gaming Commission, and it does cover everything involved with the salaries for the officers. the salaries, the fringe benefits, the Quinn, any overtime and any uniform expenses. It funds 1 lieutenant and 6 officers.
Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Seeing none. Item number 6, Council on Aging Grant.
Yes,
Okay.
I have that, this is Roy Goodman from Department of Elder Affairs.
Welcome,
this
Roy.
is- How you
Thank
doing? This grant is, of the 4th year of a 10-year grant that we received from Council on Aging for $427,854. It covers salaries and, also supplies for the center that we have.
Any questions? Seeing none. Item number 7, Department of Mental Health Jail Arrest Diversion Program. Yeah, good luck with that one. $369,000.
So
Again,
Okay,
okay.
go ahead, Kathy.
We thought the police department would be here, but this is a partnership the City of Springfield has with Behavioral Health Network. And it provides residents a more dedicated co-response team that addresses mental health needs for the purpose of diverting appropriate individuals from the criminal justice system to treatment alternatives.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Any questions on this one? Thank you. Item number 8, State 9/11 Training Grant, $173,035.76.
Yes, sir. This is the state training grant. It reimburses the Emergency Communications Division for the training that takes place during the year. It pays for the training and testing software and the academy classes that we have to send out new dispatchers to. There's no match on this grant. And it subsidizes the operations of the SEC.
Thank you. Ladies, and gentlemen, any questions?
I have a question.
Councilor Click, I saw the hand go up.
I actually want to go back to number 7.
Back to 7. Yes, BHN grant, diversion on mental health. Floor is yours.
Through the chair, thank you. Do we, and you may not know now, but do we have any stats on this program? From BHN as to how they're doing, or what are the kind of, what target area they're, because I didn't know anything about it. So.
I don't, Counselor, but I'm hoping at the 7 o'clock meeting that someone from the
Okay.
police department will be there.
All right.
If they're not, I can follow up and get some information for you, but we were under the impression, sometimes it's confusing which meeting, they don't realize they have to be at both meetings.
I understand.
So I'm sure they'll be here at the 7.
All right, thank you.
If I may, to the chair.
Yes, Council Govan.
Yeah, so this grant is a grant that it looks, they have a clinician go out with the police officer to address any mental health crises that might be happening. And they work in tandem.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sure they do have numbers.
Yes.
Sure they have.
Yeah, so I'm
And
familiar with
I
that.
know it's very successful. And
Yeah, no, I thought it was something new. So yeah, I am familiar with that, if that's what it is.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
good.
great. Awesome. Thank you.
so I'm sure they'll can address it at 7.
Thank you, Council Govan. Any other questions? Seeing and hearing no other questions, we're gonna jump back up to item number 9. Fiscal year 25 local consumer aid grant, no match required, $127,357. Not sure who speaks on this one.
I will. This is Milagros Johnson. Good evening, everyone. I'm with the Office of Consumer Information. This is our annual grant from the Attorney General's office. We serve Hamlin County and parts of Worcester County. That's a slight 2% increase from last year for salary. That's the only change, and there is no match required.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Any
welcome.
questions? Hearing, seeing no questions. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Number
welcome.
10. Item number 10 is, I don't have any. I just have it listed as $31,012. Could somebody speak on this one? Oh, it's equality. Okay, quality improvement grant. Does that sound familiar?
Yep, I can speak to that one, Counselor.
Please, thank you.
Yep, so this is a new grant for our HHS department, and the funds will be used to support the Uniform Data System, or UDS Plus. This is a new software that healthcare centers are required to report a core set of information data on patient characteristics, services, clinical processes, etc.
Okay, you might want to be prepared to answer some questions at 7 on this one, a little more detail. It is a new grant. I'm certainly not familiar with it. I won't speak for my colleagues, but if you could be there tonight, and be prepared to explain the details of that grant, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Any questions today, as we sit here now? Seeing none. We'll jump down to item number 11, which is the Parks Healthy Summer Youth Jobs Grant, no match, $9,450.
Yep, so I'll speak to that one too, Counselor.
Thank you.
So this is a new grant for our Parks Department. And this grant will be used to fund 3 recreational leader job positions for the 2024 summer season for the summer enrichment and/or Camp Star Angelina program sites.
Okay, thank you. Anytime it's a new grant, just be prepared to, for some questions. I mean, it's not like we're all completely familiar with the details of that. Any other questions? Seeing and hearing none. Item number 11, Springfield Library Foundation, Artists at Work, no match, $6,000.
That would be me again, Counselor.
Okay, you're the many hats tonight, but go ahead.
Yeah, yep. So this is a grant for $6,000 from the Springfield Libraries Foundation. And this funding will be used to host 2 visiting artists at the Mason Square Library. It will also provide referrals, networking, and encouragement in their artistic endeavors related to the Artists at Work project.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding this grant? I see none. If it's okay with everybody, I'll move on to item number 13, Springfield Library donation in the amount of $500. Do we need any explanation on this? No? Thank you. Once again, item number 14 is for a Mason Square C3 Community Engagement Sponsorship Award in the amount of $500. Explanation needed? Questions? Seeing none, thank you. Item number 15, Mr. Calvi, Fire Department donation, $25,000. Do I need would you like to speak on that one, Mr. Calvi, or?
Sure, this is a donation from a family of a deceased firefighter. And we're putting a bench up in his honor outside the Parker Street Fire Station with this money.
Thank you. No questions, ladies, gentlemen. Item number 16, Behavioral Health Network donation, police. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you like to speak on that one, please?
Yep. So this is a $25,000 donation from BHN to continue the work with Project Hope. Project Hope is our outreach team, our homeless outreach team. It's a combination of police officers and BHN clinicians.
Any questions, ladies, gentlemen? Seeing no questions on item 16, thank you very much, sir. Item number 17, transfer stabilization reserve to city retirement account in the amount of $500,000. That's you, Mr.
I'll speak to that, I think. That is an order to transfer $500,000 from the stabilization. We, at the last meeting, put all our free cash into a stabilization account. We're now asking you to transfer $500,000 of that to the city retirement for special legislation that you will hear about. There's a subcommittee meeting at 6, and then you'll hear about it at the meeting at 7 o'clock. And if that is passed and it goes to the state and it's approved at the state level, then and only then will we transfer those funds to the retirement.
And the explanation for this will be presented as a part of the reporter committee of the chair of the committee at meeting at 10 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Any questions from this group here today? Ladies, gentlemen, any questions on this item? Seeing none, hearing none. Item number 18, chapter 268. of the acts of the 2022 Economic Development Bill earmark $500,000.
Councilor Edwards, thank you. Brian Connors from Economic Development. This is a state earmark that's been awarded to the Latino Economic Development Corporation for the purposes of operating a micro enterprise small business grant program for minority and women-owned businesses. The state asked the city to administer it, so we'll receive the funding and then administer it to the LEDC.
So this essentially is just city is acting as a physical conduit?
Correct.
Thank you. Any other questions for this item? Seeing and hearing none. Item number 19, appropriation order for taking damages for 9 properties on Liberty Street in the amount of $634,000.
Hi there. So 19 and 20 are actually the same item. So this
Okay.
is properties on Liberty Street that the city is taking for conservation purposes. And the council had previously approved this through an allocation of CPA funding of $500,000. And so basically the land will be used for conservation purposes. It was formerly O'Connell Oil. On one side of it is already conservation land around Abbey Brook. Across Liberty Street is also conservation land around Abbey Brook. This sort of we're viewing as the connecting piece for those 2 conservation parcels and would sort of keep that land undeveloped for the foreseeable future. It would also include a conservation restriction, which would be held by the Mass Audubon Society because the city can't hold a conservation restriction on itself, and that's a requirement of the CPA funding.
Thank you. Any questions regarding this particular item? Seeing and hearing none. Item number 21, collective bargaining agreement ratification, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. My former employers asked me.
Good evening, Councilor Bill Mahoney, HR Labor Relations. We're pleased to report that we've entered into a tentative agreement with AFSCME 1596A. It has been ratified by the union. It covers 2 contracts, a period of July 1, 24 to June 30th of 25, and July 1 of 25 to June 30th of 28. This covers employees in the classifications of reference librarians, branch supervisors, children's librarians, teen services librarians, those sort of classes. Negotiations began on January 18th of 24. We had 6 bargaining sessions, which got us to this tentative agreement. The wage increases are 2% each year for the 4 years, so 2-2-2-2. There's a $650 signing bonus. It's a one-time bonus for full-time employees and a $350 signing bonus for part-time employees. We've added Juneteenth as a holiday under this contract. We've added a sick leave bank that the employees were asking for. We've added the military leave ordinance that the city council had passed a few years back, and the cancer screening benefits that was also part of an ordinance that the city council had passed a few years back.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. I have a question. Could you give me a little bit more definition of what the sick leave bank is?
Sure. So the employees will donate time from their own sick leave accruals to a bank, which can be shared by employees who voluntarily participate in that bank. And they can take a maximum of 20 days from the bank if they have a very, very serious health condition.
Okay. I have some, I won't ask questions of that particular item right now or at the meeting tonight, but I'd like to have some, yeah, okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? No questions, comments? I believe that covers everything. Did we miss anything? Did I miss anything tonight? Steve, you didn't have anything to say other than that you were in Ireland last week? Good. Okay, well, if there's no objections, I want to say appreciate.
Mr. Chair, sorry. I kind of wanted to go back to the item on Liberty Street. I know Tina was giving kind of a high level explanation of this in terms of conservation land, but if she can just give it to me one more time, because mean, $634,000, you know, a little more than $500,000. So I was just trying to understand, and I'm kind of moving on the road, so if you can kind of go over that one last time for me.
Sure. So you're correct. It's 634,000. It is 9 parcels. And so that is part of that. And the CPA funding is covering 500,000 of that. So the city the city portion is 134,000. And so the idea here is to protect those properties from any further development. On the east side of the parcels is also conservation land that surrounds Abbey Brook. On the west side across from, Councilor Delgado, this is sort of, if you're driving up Liberty Street towards Stop and Shop and the plaza, it's on the right-hand side before Stop and Shop. It's that wooded area.
Wooded area, yeah. Okay.
So, and then across Liberty Street on the west side is also conservation land around Abbey Brook. And so these parcels are sort of, in our view, the connector for all of that conservation land. It's also the only property that in that sort of conservation grouping that we're talking about here that actually faces out onto the street and connects it out to the street. And I should say the Hungry Hill Neighborhood Council, which is the neighborhood that would be impacted here, is very supportive of the project and was the initial advocate for the city to pursue CPA funding for this. So I don't know if that answers your questions.
No, that's very helpful. And does this have anything to do as well with the land behind Van Sickle? Because I'm assuming that's all part of the same stretch of land.
Yeah, it further down, yeah.
Yeah, it is part of Abbey Brook. That is part of Abbey Brook behind the school.
All right, because I thought I remember in a previous meeting somebody mentioning something about the baseball field in the back and how there's some weird ownership. It's part something else. So that's making more sense now. Okay.
Yes.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you, Tina.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Anybody else have any questions, comments, complaints, observations? Seeing none, hearing none. I'd like to thank Focus Springfield for their assistance. Thanks to Sean and staff of the City Council office. Thank you all the city employees. Appreciate your time. And I'd officially like to call this meeting, close this meeting at approximately